Hello everybody. Today's book that I have for you is another new one, and this is The Lion Inside, and it is by Rachel Bright and Jim Field. And it says on the back, you don't have to be big and brave to find your roar. Being little isn't always easy, but when Mouse sets off on a journey to find his roar, he discovers that even the smallest creatures can have the heart of a lion. So this sounds to me like it has a little bit of a message to show us. So we'll see. I haven't read it, it's brand new for me, just as it is for you today. In a dry, dusty place, the sand sparkled gold, stood a mighty flat rock, all craggy and old. And under that rock, in a tinyful house, lived the littlest, quietest, meekest brown mouse. There he is, I'll show you his little house where he is. It's lovely illustrations. He was so very tiny, so incredibly small, that nobody noticed him, ever at all. He got trod on and sat on and missed out for stuff. Ignored and forgotten. Yes, mouse life was tough. Wow, just look at him there with the elephant's foot. He's so tiny. Meanwhile, far above, on top of the rock, times were quite different. It was lion o'clock. This huge toothsome creature made sure everyone saw how important he was by how loud he could roar. Wow, that's a very big roar from the lion. He was head of the pack. He was shouty and tough. He loved showing the crowd he was made of strong stuff. Yes, all were impressed by this mighty king cat. If only, thought Mouse, I could be more like that. He's there with all the other creatures, really showing off. But he's the king of the jungle and he has to be in charge, I suppose. Then late one dark night in his Minnie Mouse bed, the cleverest thought popped into his head. He jumped from the covers and held up a paw. I've got it, he said. What I need is a roar. I mean, what if this mouse was the weeniest squeak, was a little more grrr and a little less meek? Well, he'd still be the smallest of fuzzy brown mice, but he'd make friends and join in, and life would be nice. Yes, thought the mouse. I must find out how. I will learn how to roar, and I will learn it now. By gulp, oh my gosh, there was only one beast who could teach him this thing, but might make him a feast. It was time to be strong, to take a chance. After all, forever was such a long time to feel small. He's supposed to be very brave if he goes to see that lion. So he made himself brave and he thought like a winner. He set off for the top, hoping not to be dinner. It felt like the scariest thing he could do, but if you want things to change, you have to change you. The further he climbed, the closer he got to the slumbering lion reclining on top. Then at last, as he stood on his tippy toes, he found himself suddenly nose to... I wonder if it's going to say nose. Nose. Aha! Gulp, pardon me. Wake up, Mr. Lion, you've got company. Squeak, Mr. Lion, what I've come to you for is... Squeak, do you think you could teach me to roar? Look how tiny he is there with the lion. The lion's huge. Such a big creature. Oh, wow, look at that page. That's fabulous. A silence befell that twinkling plain. Lion opened his eyes and puffed out his mane. Time slowed right down. Why, it felt like a week. Then he opened his mouth and let out a... What's it going to be? Eek! The lion was shaking, his paws all of a fumble. He was backing away with a scrambling tumble. Don't hurt me, he whimpered. Oh, try to be nice. Well, my goodness. This lion was frightened of mice. Don't worry, Mouse peeped. I'm a friend, not a foe. Let's rock this together. We'll have fun, don't you know? Well, you see, that's a little message. People don't realise that lions are sometimes afraid of mice. That was a magical moment for sure, when Mouse didn't feel at all small anymore. He had found his true voice and he learned to speak out. And for that, you don't need a roar to shout. And from that day and always, the two were a pair. They both liked that rock better, now that the rock was to share. The mouse, while still little, felt big in his head, and Lion he still roared, but with laughter instead. Oh, that was such a lovely story. I wonder if that's the last page. Oh, one more. Yes, that day they both learned that no matter your size, we all have a mouse and a lion inside. Brilliant. So just as I thought, that book had a little message, didn't it? To always just be yourself and don't worry about things that you can't change. Be yourself and do your best, and you'll either be like the lion or the mouse, but they're both really good. That was a lovely story. Thank you for sharing, everybody. Bye for now.